Hello, all my beautiful souls out there. Hello and welcome. This is Sherry and this is Soul Conscious Tarot, and this is going to be our weekly energy update where we see what is in the energy this upcoming week. What can we expect? What can we learn? Just to be aware of what you might experience. Only take things as they resonate. This is just a snapshot in time to see, and you might be on a different timeline, and that's fine if you are. I have a bunch of different weekly readings out there. You can just go find one that you're drawn to. That might be where you are right now. And definitely if something pops up on your YouTube timeline and you're drawn to it, I highly recommend, whether it's me or another reader, if you're drawn to it, there's probably a message in that reading for you at that time. So let's dive right in here. So we have our overall energy is 51 moonlight energy. And this is interesting because we are getting closer to the full moon. I think the full moon is, the full moon is this week. So that's interesting that we get. Let me double check. I want to double check real quick. Give me just a second. I have my computer right here and we'll pull up. I want to make sure. Yeah. I thought so. The full moon is this week and I got to do that reminds me, I need to do a full moon reading. I need to pull that in the next day or so. I'm glad I did that. So let's go ahead. We'll get our emoji. But this is, I feel like a lot has been coming up here in the energy for people. I think a lot has been being processed for people at this time. I think people are seeing a lot of things differently than they have in the past. And because I think a lot of energies have been being transmuted, or they're being transmuted or have been transmuted over the last several months, especially since the 8/8 portal in the start of eclipse season. I feel like, when Saturn and Neptune, Saturn and Neptune went into retrograde, I feel like this has been bringing up lots of stuff for people. Like, people are becoming more aware of maybe actions and things about them, becoming more self-aware about themselves and their shadows and all that stuff, and working through things. Because this is, the moon can talk about things that are hidden, but we're talking about the full moon, and that's illuminating the things that are hidden, illuminating the shadow parts of us. This person is feeling bad because I think things are coming up. It's also a card of emotions. So there's things that are coming up that might come up during this full moon period for us if they haven't already, but it's also telling me this is a time when we're going to be processing some feelings as well, this coming week. So, we're going to be analyzing, thinking about some things, reminiscing about some things, thinking things over. There's going to be just some stuff that's going to come to light here for us if they haven't already. And we're going to be processing them and working through some things, or at least coming to terms with some things about ourselves in some way that have been brought to light. So let's get our 3 cards and then we'll get our clarification on those 3 cards and see what's going on. Give me more. What do we got this week? What's hidden? What's going to be exposed? What's coming to light during this full moon this week? During the energies this week. Okay, what's that card? The 7 of Swords. Yeah, things that have been hidden, things that have been deceptive, where we've been deceiving ourselves is what I'm getting. The message I'm getting is where we have been deceiving ourselves. Because this could be, 7 Swords can be a card of self-sabotage as well. The Ace of Wands. Interesting. The Ace of Wands came out in the other day in Friday's 72-hour reading. And it was around, the message was around where we've maybe blindly learned something in our childhood, a way of doing things that we just learned, that we weren't aware that it was deceptive, like that it was actually self-sabotaging behavior. So interesting that that's coming through again in the weekly reading, because that reading on Friday actually does kind of bleed over into this energy, because this is, it's Sunday and that's part of that 72 hours. So, but this is like extending out into toward, through the week, and which encompasses the full moon energy. So it's telling me that maybe there's full moon, maybe there's something that came up during this, recently, that's going to be processed this week during the full moon, that's going to, really come to light and be processed, ways that we've been self-sabotaging ourselves, or a way. It may be just one, or it may be several, I don't know, but I feel like it's going to really create a shift for us. We're going to be able to be really aware of what's going on. With the King of Swords, we're going to, it goes back to this, that analyzing, that's definitely the King of Swords energy coming through that emoji. So it's really looking at some things about ourselves, being hard. This can be a little bit critical and judgy energy. So it can be looking at some hard truths about ourselves this week. Some really hard truths, which can be very hard energy, let me tell you, to get through. So give me 2 cards. Let's dive deeper. 2 cards on this 7 of Swords, please. 2 cards on the 7 of Swords, the Death. Yeah, we need to putting an end to places where we've been maybe self-sabotaging things in our life. I like this with the Angel card, the Temperance coming through here, because this is a kind of a card of an angel, but it's also the blending of the light and the shadow. So it's that balance, finding that balance, because we all have things within us. We all have shadow and light aspects, but it's coming to term and bringing those into balance so that we can be more harmonious in our lives. If once we're aware of our shadow aspects, we can do better to be better when it comes to those things in our life. We know how to take accountability for them because we've now learned, we've become aware of those things. So we can make more conscious choices in our lives, knowing that we have these shadow aspects about ourselves. And when we do something from our shadow self, we can take accountability for us, which helps us stay into balance. It helps us be a more balanced, authentic person when it comes to how we walk in the world. So what's this Ace of Wands? What's this Ace of Wands? The Justice card. Again, a card of balance, bringing something in the balance. Now, I did say that this ties me back, this Ace of Wands is tying me back to the Friday 72-hour reading, which talked about blindly doing things from a place that we may not fully be aware of because it's something that we have learned from our past. And so it's like when we approach new things, we're doing things from a learned behavior that is self-sabotaging. So we could have been hard on ourselves, judgmental, hard on ourselves about things that don't work out, new opportunities that don't work out in some way in whatever areas of our life where we haven't been fair to ourselves, or that we need to be more fair about it in our going forward. And that's why there's this need coming through to address this of seeing where we're self-sabotaging ourselves so that we can bring things into balance. There's so much about bringing things into balance. And again, there's yin and yang down here. There's the yin and yang, and there's the light and dark, and we have the full moon, which is illuminating the darkness. There's so much about balance, of finding balance between our light and our shadow and light aspects within ourselves. It's coming through strongly that's important this week, a very important message. Again, okay, so this is where we couldn't see, we're blinded, where we were making decisions from an uninformed place because we didn't have the truth. We were blindly making decisions based on something that we learned from our childhood, from our past, that we thought that's the way we were supposed to do it. We just, and it's just core programming. It was just core programming we learned, because it could be, our parents learned it from their parents that learned it from their parents, and that's just the way that it's always been done. Maybe your parents even told you that's the way it's always, but why do we do it this way? Because it's the way it's always been done. But it's like, maybe you never questioned it until now. And now it's like, why have we always done it this way? You know, it's that kind of an energy. It's like, why have we done it? Why have we always done it this way? You know, it's the King of Swords coming out and say, you know, analyzing and looking at this and saying, why am I doing things this way? Why do I behave this way? Why do I make these decisions? Why do I maybe sabotage new beginnings when I have new opportunities that mean a lot to me? Why am I sabotaging them, you know, in some way? It's kind of that energy coming through. So we have the Ten of Swords coming out. So yeah, it's looking at, you know, how are we causing pain in our life? How are we, what, you know, being truthful. This is like being really truthful with ourselves of who we are and how we've hurt ourselves, how the, you know, the actions we've taken, the choices that we have made, maybe making them from a blind place or a place of, you know, not really understanding why we were making the choices we did, how that was leading to pain for us. Now we're looking at that. We're seeing it for what it is, and now that we see it, we can do something about it. The Knight of Swords, yeah, it's being very pinpointed. It's targeting. The Knight of Swords is very direct. It's to the point. So it's pinpointing. It's talking about the king. Look at all the swords energy. All of this is swords on this end. It's all the same color. It's like this really critical analyzing where we have been hard on ourselves, where we have judged ourselves, where we have, you know, where we have caused ourselves pain. Really looking, taking a hard look at that, really deep diving, you know, into trying to understand why we do the things we do, like why. And it doesn't mean, for some of you it could be in you know, encompassing all areas of your life, like overall, like why do I do the things I do. But for most people, I think it's going to be like one thing, like why do I sabotage my relationships, or why do I have a problem staying or having a long relationship. For some people it's going to be, why do I have a hard time keeping a job, why do I have a hard time doing this or that, you know. It's going to be one thing that we're going to be focused on, that we're really going to look at and how try and figure out a way forward, like to figure out um how to resolve the issue, or figure out, bring to light how we sabotage this area of our life, whatever area of your life it is. It probably is going to have to do a lot with your natal chart and your placement, your birth chart, and where things are falling right now, like what is coming up for you. And that's why I can't really pinpoint it for people. It's going to be different for everyone depending on what your placements are in your birth chart and what might be coming up for you right now and what houses. Um, for me, I mean, I know probably what it's, you know, possibly could be for me, personally, because I have already started, you know, coming, you know, being aware of some things that are coming up, like around some doubts that I have, and I'm trying to pinpoint why I'm struggling with those, or why those doubts are coming up for me. Um, and so it's going to be something like that. That's how you're going to know that if this is resonating, if you're having some things starting to come up for you to review and look at, or ask, you're starting to ask yourself questions about, why do I do this or that? This is that energy, okay, that's going to be coming up this week. And it's good because it's actually helping us become more aligned within ourselves. It's actually helping us grow. It's actually helping us move past some things so that we can step in a more balanced energy and be more in tuned, and be more authentic with not only ourselves but the world around us. Because the more we understand ourselves, that's going to come forward in our actions and the choices we make. Remember, we had the Two of Swords here, which is making, you know, making choices when we don't have all the facts, when we're blind, we're blindly making decisions. But we're, you know, we're moving out of that. We're trying to move past the place where we're making decisions from some a blind place, but in from a place that is more truthful and to us as an individual, which I really like. I really like that a lot. I think this is a good reading. If you feel like this is resonating, hit that like button. If you like my reading style, hit that like button. It supports all us readers out there. Yeah, I know all you folks out there that have been around the block a few times already know that, and we all appreciate you so much. So that's where I'm going to leave this reading. I wish you the very best this coming week. Much harmony and gratitude to you, and look forward to next day or so me trying to get that full moon reading out for y'all. So thanks again. See ya.